Hello, everybody. Hi, Stampers. I am Christina Taylor. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am coming to you from North Canton, Ohio on this rainy May day. We have just we've been bombarded with rain after rain after rain. So kind of goes along with our class, only we're still in May and getting the showers, but our class theme is April shower, spring, May flowers to kind of go along with all of our floral projects that we'll be doing in today's class. But boy, it's been rainy. So looking forward to some break in that rain this weekend. But thank you for joining me today. So, as I mentioned, all of our projects today are going to feature flowers and bright colors and all the colors that we're seeing in the gardens and everything, along with the weeds that sometimes appear as well. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's class. I'm excited to share the projects with you. A couple things that are coming up. Let me see. So in June, so I've got my Kit Together gathering that's on June 6th, Friday, June 6th. And you'd have thought I would have had my calendar handy, and I don't. I don't have it with me. So June 6th, Friday, Kit Together. If you have interest in that, reach out to me and let me know. And that'll be here at my home in the morning from 10 to noon. And we'll just be working on kits, like whatever kit you have to work on. If you don't have a kit, we have a ton of new kits that are out. I might even grab the one that I just recently got, Beautiful Blues. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I can't wait to create that kit. And then the following week, I will be having my retired stamp sale, which I do every other year. So this is the other year that I'll be having it. And that will be on June. Oh my gosh, you would have thought I should have got my calendar. I have to think about this. June 12th and 13th, I think. Oh, I'll get my calendar when I turn the camera down and double check on that. It's a Friday and Saturday, so it's the week after the Kit Together gathering. So that actually it's probably the 13th and the 14th because it's a Friday, Saturday. So that'll be here at my house out in the building, and I have tons of stuff like bundles and stamp sets and punches and inks and dies and um different tools, scrapbooks, like brand new scrapbooks, scrapbooking kits. See what else is there? I don't, there's cardstock designer series paper, like there's all kinds of goodness, and they will be priced to sell for you to take home and create with them. Because I mean, what good are they if you're not going to create with them? That's why we papercraft, right? So if you're on my email list, just watch for more details on that as far as the hours and things like that. If for some reason you can't make those two dates, I will be setting up that week before. So if you can't make it and you want to come check out the bargains that I'm going to have, just message me. And if we can work out a time beforehand, you would be welcome to come then too. So earlier anyway. And then we'll have June card class then coming up then that following week in June. So lots ahead. So also my in color club is going on right now. If you want to jump in on that, you can get all the new in colors from our catalog, which now I can show you the inside the catalog. So we'll take a peek at that. That's a great way to get those in color bundles and everything that's in that color. And then we'll as part of that club benefit, you get a 2 project video each month. So you have a total of 5 videos with 10 different projects. And this applies to go along with those to make them. So, and then also, let's see, I've got a Zoom club that is filling up. So if you have interest in that and you'd like to meet with some other ladies on Zoom because you like the comfort of your home, we just kind of all tune in and I prepare kits for everybody and then take you through how to make the projects and everybody creates at home. And then I also have just a regular traditional club. So it's a great way to kind of build the supplies that you have in your creative fortress of things, but on a budget so that it's not like you have to buy everything all at one time and you can get some hostess rewards or stamping rewards at the same time. So All right, well, I am going to turn the camera down and we will go ahead and get started stamping. Okay, so grabbed my calendar so I can give you like a little bit, be more precise with my dates that I was telling you about earlier. So the Kit Together is on Friday, June 6th, from 10 a.m. to noon. And again, that's here at my house in North Canton. And then you do have to pre-register for that, and we'll need a kit to be able to kind of create. And that's just a great social time and a very relaxed atmosphere. And then the following week on June 13th and 14th, those are my stamp sale dates again here in the building. And then the June classes will be June 18th. Looks like I've got a morning one, 9:30 to 11:30, and then an evening 6:30 to 8:30. And we will be doing all kinds of new things from the new catalog, new colors, new stamp sets, new dies, all the fun things. So you'll definitely want to watch your email for more details on that and register early so you can reserve a spot either for the in-person or kit to go. So, okay, so here's a peek at the projects that we're doing today. And I'll take you through these. And then let me set those aside. I didn't do I'm looking to see if I grabbed that kit. Hmm. I Oh, here it is. I was like, I knew I had it. I've got a bunch of new stuff on my desk that I'm working with. So I was like, anyway, this is the new kit. It's called Beautiful Blues. I literally just got it, so I haven't even had time to, oh my goodness, I haven't even had time to like, open it to do it. Let me get this on the camera here. Beautiful Blues kit. Look at those projects. Aren't those so beautiful? Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to create with this. Just, I love the colors. The sentiments in this kit are wishing you comfort. You're in my thoughts and sending love. So very much like a hope and encouragement sentiments. And these cards are just, they're so soothing and comforting, like with the colors, the designs. Oh, love it. And then here's the Knight of Navy stamp and spot. So this is an all-inclusive kit, and this is actually in our catalog as part of our, kit collection. So this is going to be available for quite some time. I highly, highly recommend getting that one. And then now I can show you the inside of the catalog. Yay. All the goodness that's in here. We're going to be using quite a few of these things in the upcoming class. But as you can see, if you're looking through the catalog, you're going to know that we have more of a scrapbooking presence. Now Stampin' Up! Has definitely got more of a scrapbooking presence in this catalog. So you're definitely going to notice that. We've got a whole line of two-toned 12 by 12 cardstock, which is nice. Like the dark side is the Stampin' Up! Color, and then there's a light side that gives you a lighter shade of that Stampin' Up! Color, and it's great for layering. It also has a white core, so when you tear it, you're going to get that white layering. When you're doing embossing on it and you sand it, you can get that white layering coming through in the embossing design. I think that's one of the projects we're doing in the June class featuring that. Um, Oh, this is a fun project, product bundle too. It's a dies and stamp set, and then it's got a washi tape that's like 3¼ inches wide to like this wide. And it coordinates with the die. So you can make all these little cutouts of the washi tape, put them on either a window sheet or cardstock. And yeah, I just got this. Let's see. Here it is. Here's my roll. I haven't even opened it up yet. It just came, so I haven't had time to play with it. But really excited about this product too. Might even do a product-based class on that. So anyway, let me flip to the end colors. I could go on and keep talking about the catalog, but you're here for class projects. So these are the new in colors here. I don't know if you can see them. quite, let's go like right there. So this line right down here, the 2025, 2027 one. So you've got Strawberry Slush, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, Cloud Cover, and Secret Sea, which is like a really rich, deep, like blue, but there's like green undertones too. Like depending on what color you put it with, it kind of takes on a different color. It's like it's not like not Night of Navy, but it's also not like Pretty Peacock. It's like if Night of Navy and Pretty Peacock merged, they would maybe be Secret Sea. That's my interpretation. Anyway, those are the colors in my in color club. So if you want to jump on into that, just send me a message and I can give you some more details on that too. Okay, enough about the catalog. Let's get creating with some projects here. Okay, so this first project that we're going to do, um, you are going to have the same layout, but two different colors. So you've got one in Fresh Freesia and you've got one in Daffodil Delights with some other uh, accent colors, which we'll go into a little closer detail. So for the example here, I'm actually going to do the one with the designer series paper. So we'll be focusing on the yellow one in the video, but I want to briefly talk to you about the Fresh Freesia one because you will have one like this in your kit if you got a kit to go. So you're going to notice on this one where the designer series paper is on the yellow one. This is an embossed piece of Fresh Freesia, and I've used the Country Floral embossing folder for that, which gives you this just beautiful floral texture. So you're going to use that in place of your layer. All the other steps that you do on this card are going to be the same as this one. So when you go through on this video, as I'm taking you through, just follow the steps and you'll be able to put both cards together. So I'm going to set this one aside. We'll just put that over there. Okay, so we're not going to use the embossing folder on this one since we're using the designer series paper. And we won't be using the Fresh Freesia ink on the example that I'm doing right now. But we're using Daffodil Delight. We're using the Fancy Borders stamp set along with the Fancy Border dies. So this is a new bundle of products. This is an online exclusive. So if you type in Fancy Borders in my online store, this will come up for you. I really like the font on this one and the sentiments that are in here with like the special delivery and sent with love. I particularly like those. However, we're going to use this, a little hello with a whole lot of love today on today's project. And then this great stamp with this greenery type florally piece there. So we're going to stamp with that. I've used this die on the die cutting. These two right here, the leaf one and the hearts, kind of cuts it out, but makes a nice layer. And so it is meant to like die cut it and cut it into the card so I can maybe layer some designer paper behind or another color to get that to pop. So we'll be using this again, I'm sure. This is the first project I've done with this. And then I've used the Unabounded Love dies, and this is the one I used. Back here, rabbit. So this one right here, which I've gone ahead and already die cut for us. But there's a ton of different labels in here that is great to complement all the sentiments that are in this stamp set. I didn't use this stamp set as far as the greetings, but I just wanted to show you that they go along together. So you can find those in the catalog as well. So we'll move this out of the way too. And then we're going to start with our cardstock and our measurements. So we've got a piece, let me see, on this one, I've got to find the card that I'm looking at. This is so this is thick basic white. So it is a 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4.25. And then you'll have a piece of designer series paper that is 3 by 5.5. You're going to have a piece in your kit that has been die cut with the Fancy Borders dies. So that was roughly like 3 inches by 3 inches by 5.5. And I just cut that off to get that scalloped edge. So that's already been done for you. You're going to have a piece of lemon lolly. Yeah, lemon lolly. And it's a 1/2 inch by 5.5. Now in your for the freesia one, you're gonna have a piece of petunia pop, so this darker like pink purple. And that is going to be 3/4 of an inch by 5.5. It's a little wider because the ribbon is a little wider on this one. Then you will have two die cut labels. You'll have two in the white, and then one in the lemon lolly, and one in the petunia pop. And then you're going to have two types of ribbon too. You'll have the Daffodil Delight, which you're going to have a piece that's like 6.5 inches. And then you're going to have another piece that's 3.5. You will also have those same measurements in the Fresh Freesia ribbon, which has a different texture and it's like crinkle seam binding. So you're going to have both of those. They will be fastened down the same way. So just pay attention to what I'm doing on that. And then of course, we've just got our basic white envelope. So I'll set these, put this one up here so you can kind of see them in the corner there. As always, if there's anything that you're seeing on today's video that with going through the projects and you want to shop in my online store, that you can find that at stampingyoucrazy.stampinup.net. And just simply sign into your customer account. Make sure that I am showing as your demonstrator, Christina Taylor. If you shop with other demonstrators, you do have to select the one you want to shop with. If you do use multiple demonstrators. And then you can earn some Stampin' Rewards on your purchase as little as $20 or choose Stampin' Up! Rewards. Also, while you're making notes of kind of things for this on my channel here, if you're not already a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button so you can get notifications when I have new videos that are uploaded. And also, if you could give me a thumbs up on this video. And feel free to like and share it and all the good things. That helps with the algorithms and all the people that, more people that can see my videos and share that creativity with them. So, okay, enough of the infomercial. Back to card making here. So we're going to take our basic white cardstock. We're going to fold that in half at the score line. And I'm just going to go ahead and flatten that crease there. And we're going to do a little stamping. And because this is a photopolymer stamp set, I'm going to bring in my mat. And okay, so let me ink this up. So it's a large stamp, so I'm just going to take it across the top there. And then bring that down in the scallop part. Got a good transfer. Now I'm going to go ahead and also stamp this on the back of my envelope. However, I think this time, let's see, I'm trying to think which way I want to do it. I think I'm actually going to stamp it like this. Anyway, so I'll go do it since I've got this. I'm going to stamp it on the edge here, and I'm going to actually just drop it down a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah, I like how that looks. That'll be really complimentary of our card there. Okay, with that one, and then I've got my little sentiment here, a little hello with a whole lot of love. So ink that up. Just kind of tapping around the ink pad because they are often very well loved after a class. Stamp that. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and close that so I don't set my card in it, and then bring my scrub in here. Or not my scrub, this is my chamois. It's very well loved. Like they're actually purple, but mine is practically black now. But it just gets stained and you just rinse it out with some warm water. It's good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna put those aside. I'll put this back over here. And we've got all of our pieces, so we're ready to like assemble this guy. So the trick with this, so what you're gonna do is on this label, this die cut label, I want to go ahead and put my lemon lolly cardstock down first. So I'm going to put some of my Tombow adhesive on the lemon lolly cardstock and put that strip in place. And then I'm going to, I like to just use a couple pieces of masking tape. So This is going to create a faux tied knot for your card. Sometimes some of the ladies have expressed like they have trouble with bringing the ribbon around the card and tying it, like working to tie it. And this is an easy way to simplify that. So if you take your ribbon and just kind of center it where you want it in between the lolly cardstock strip, just gonna turn this over here. So then I'm gonna put the piece of tape. So I just put a piece of the Scotch tape there. I'm holding that in place. And then I'm gonna flatten that back out, flip it over, and do the same on the back side. For me, that's how I like to hold it down. You can just put your adhesive, your stamp and seal, your fuse, whatever you might use. And then you take the little, the shorter one and just kind of pick that ribbon up. And we're just gonna just tie a simple knot. Not even a knot, you're just gonna tie it and it's gonna make a knot. Okay. Super easy than trying to struggle and get it tied down and make it tight and all the things. So let me just go ahead and trim my ends here while we're working with the ribbon. Okay. All right, so I've got my ribbon on there. It's already tied. You're going to do the same thing with the freesia ribbon as well. And then, of course, you can use the gingham on here if you'd like, or you can use the floral. Totally up to you. Whatever your heart desires on that. So I'm just going to put that right at the edge of my card. Okay. And then because I've got Scotch tape on there, I'm going to go ahead and come in with my seal to do a little bit of a stronger adhesive kind of on the back side here. And put that in place. Just lining that up with the edge of my card. Okay. And then I'm going to offset the labels a little bit. If you'll notice on here, it gives it, let me find my camera, gives it there a little offset of color. So it just makes it, helps it pop a little bit. So I'll just do that by putting a little adhesive. I need to move in because I see that I'm coming like off the camera a bit. That's my So I'm just going to offset those a little bit, just like that. Flip that over and I'll grab some dimensionals. Okay. Lid on my adhesive there. Take those tabs off. And we'll just go ahead and set that right kind of in the center. Okay, all set, all done. So there is our first project all done. And again, you'll do the same thing and make the freesia one as well. All right, hang on. I'll be right back with another project. Okay, this is our next project. We're going to use this beautiful designer series paper, which looks like it has a ton of texture to it, but it's just the paper doing all the work. I needed a lot of one paper with bold flowers on it with the bright spring colors, and my order of new papers had not come in yet. So I pulled a beautiful one that was actually just retired, but I know that if you're watching this and you didn't get like a kit to go, so you don't have these papers, you can use any floral paper and just use the same layout and substitute your own floral paper and change the colors as you need to. So I know it's easily duplicatable. So on this project, we're using Berry Burst ink. We're also using the Wonderful Thoughts stamp set, which also has a set of coordinating dies to go along with it. So with each one of these sentiments, there is a die that will fussy cut it out in a sense, so you get a nice little bubbling around it. And you don't have to fussy cut it with your scissors. And here's that die set. So all these will cut out the sentiments that are in there. Plus you get a really fun label and some hearts. There's two little labels here. right here, some hearts, and then a floral image too. So really nice coordinating products. Okay, let me put this over here. And our supplies that we are using on this project. So we've got our white envelope. We've got a piece of lemon lime twist, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. We've got a piece of our designer series paper that is 3.75 by 5. A piece of berry burst that is 2 1/8 by 5 3/8. A piece of basic white that is 3.5 by 4 3/4. Another piece of designer series paper that is 3/4 of an inch by 3.5. And then you've got a piece of the lemon lime twist ribbon, which is right here. And that is just about a 4-inch piece. We're just going to make a little swoosh of a ribbon. You also need a scrap piece of white, which I've gone ahead and die cutting, so you don't have to watch me do the die cutting. So that's already been done. So we'll grab that when I need it. So we're going to go ahead and fold our card base and score that. Crease it on the score line. And then, so you'll notice here on this, I die cut my word out. So on this one, we're going to do congratulations. So I used the congratulations die, which is right here, this one right here. Put that on my berry burst cardstock and ran that through the cut and emboss machine. So that's already die cut. And we're going to layer over it so you're not going to see that we die cut out of there. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I love to do that. It's just a matter of using your supplies like mindfully, and you're not adding any more weight to your paper. You're just taking that off and moving it into a different position on the card. So we've gone ahead and die cut that. And then I stamped our word congratulations in the berry burst ink. And I've gone ahead and die cut that as well. So we're going to use those two to layer. I need to stamp my sentiment also that says you've come so far and accomplished you've come so far and accomplished so much. So a great sentiment for like anyone who needs a congratulations card. Obviously, you're congratulating them. They've accomplished something amazing. So I want to stamp that, but before I do, I'm going to glue down my designer series paper. And yeah, I know I'm taking a little bit of a chance here that I don't screw up the stamping and end up being like, probably shouldn't have glued that down to begin with. But I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to leave just a little edge of white down there. And we'll ink this up and we're going to see how she goes here. Okay, very good. I don't have to worry about getting another piece. It's stamped running. Yay. Okay. And let's see. Okay, so we're ready to assemble our card. This one's going to go together super quick. Let me go ahead. I feel like I should put something on the envelope on this one. I'm looking at my stamps in front of me to see what I've got. Maybe I'll do this one. I didn't have this out at class, but I kind of feel like I want to put something on the envelope, like a flower. I'm going to use this Love and Strength stamp set. This is a new one. It's in the catalog. Beautiful sentiments in there and some nice imagery, very peaceful images. I'm going to grab this flower. We're going to use that. Okay. Sync that up. Oh yeah, that'll look nice. We'll do that. That'll give a little something to our envelope then. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this. Put these things aside here, and we're ready to assemble this card. So, put a little adhesive on our berry burst piece and put that in place. There we go. And then layer this designer series paper on there. So we've got that nice little pop of color right there that which really brings us the berry burst out in our designer series paper. And then this will kind of take it on the inside of the card too. So it carries that look over. So you could do this really, like I said, with any designer series paper that you have. And then we're going to layer the congratulations. So I'm just going to put a little glue on there. I'm going to set that down in order to layer this. There we go. So I'll let that sit for a bit. So you'll see on this example here, it just gives, you're just using that die cut just to give a nice shadow to that sentiment. So you just want to bump it up a little bit. Okay. And then I want to pop this up with some dimensional, so I'm going to get some minis. And I'll have to strategically place these little guys because they are tiny. All right, so we've got those on there. I need to put my ribbon on. And the way I like to do that is I'm just going to just kind of determine where I want to put my sentiment. And I'm just going to put a little stamp and seal. And I'm going to take my ribbon, just do like a little crisscross ribbon, just like this. And I'm going to stick it down right on that adhesive. And that'll hold it in place for me. You can do whatever you like, you know, whatever works for you. Okay. Right, and then I'm just going to put my congratulations on there. Down, and there we go. There is our second project. Let me know what you think in the comments of the video. I'd love to get your feedback on the projects. All right, let me clear this up and we will come back with another project for you. Okay, all right, we are back with another project here. Oh, somebody got a little like some tape on there. Anyway, sorry, it's like saw a squirrel or something got sidetracked. Okay, let me grab the project. This is the next project we're going to be doing using some new embossing folders, some stamp sets, a punch. I just love this card. It just makes me smile. It's so bright and cheery. So let me set this over here and share with you what we're going to use. So we are using the Textured Notes stamp set. I've grabbed this image out of here for our project. And then we're using the Right Words stamp set. This is new in the catalog. This is an online exclusive. Both are new. And I'm just going to make this a birthday card. So we're going to use the to someone we're celebrating every single day. And then the happy birthday right below it. But you can see that it has, I'll try to hold this steady. So if you want to do a screenshot so you can kind of get the images that are in there or the sentiments that are in there. It's a great all occasion one. It can cover quite a few things depending on what you might be making a card for. And it is a red rubber stamp, as is the Textured Notes. So I'll set those aside. Then we are using the Summer Splash ribbon. You'll find that in the catalog as well. We're using a blending brush. We were using the Summer Splash ink. We are using the To the Point label punch, which I'm not sure if this is back in stock. You'd have to, if you put in the search, so the shopping search To the Point label, it'll see if it would come up. It was supposed to be back in stock on May the 12th, so it should be. It's been very, very popular. And then the Glass and Gardens embossing folder. And this is a new 2-pack of embossing folders where you get that floral strip that we're going to use on the center there. And then you get this, what they call like a glass strip would be like, maybe like a stained glass image. You get this kind of like, like, or like one of those windows, like a gloss black window where you see kind of like you can see light through it, but you can't see clearly. That's kind of what this is creating. So that's my best description for it. You can, I'll pull this up here. You can get a little bit closer look at like what the images are going to be embossed. All right, so that's everything we're using. Let me, and of course I've prepped some of this for you. So we've got our white envelope. We've got a piece of Summer Splash that's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. And then got some other pieces here. So we've got, let's see, our white piece is 3.5 by 5. And then we've got a piece of vellum, which I have gone ahead and already embossed for us, and that is 2 by 5.25. We've got another piece of white that's 2.5 by 5.25. A piece of Summer Splash that's 2.75 by 5.25. Then we've got a 1.75 inch strip that we're going to use for our punch out. And a piece of Summer Splash ribbon that's about 7 inches long. So that's all your pieces and parts and all the things. So we'll start by folding our cardstock in half at that score line. I've used the Simply Score tool to make those score lines. It works so easily, gives you a nice fold there. And then, so I've gone ahead and already embossed this for you. As you can see, you've got the floral design already on it, and just use that, the Gardens embossing folder. And then for the vellum, I just embossed that with the glass embossing folder. We're going to take our layer of Summer Splash, and I'm going to insert the to the point punch all the way to the back with that cardstock and punch out a label there. We're going to layer over top of this, so no worries that that center is gone. Okay. So we've kind of got those tools done. We're going to do some stamping here. And let me grab a piece of paper. Stamp it. Okay. So we'll come in with this, do a little stamping. So I'm going to take this like leaf image, and I'm just going to take and stamp that down the sides. It's just going to create some extra interest on the border of my card. And it's not necessary to do the center because we're going to be layering over that. You're not going to see it anyway. So we're going to do that. Then I'm going to come in and do some stamping on my lower portion of the piece that's going to be on the inside layer. Set that aside. And while we're at it, we might as well just go ahead and do our envelope and have some extra color on that for coordination and all the things. So we'll do a little there on the flap and do one around the front. Okay. So I've got everything stamped with this stamp that I wanted to do. I'm going to clean that off. Then I'm going to come in with the happy birthday and stamp that down on the lower portion. Lately, I've been doing that. I stamping the sentiments on the lower portion of my inside layer. So it just frees up that area for writing and doesn't break that up. And then I'm going to come in with this little scrap. And I want to do to someone we're celebrating every single day. And stamp that. Okay. Clean that off. All right, so we've got the stamping done. We're going to come back with a punch on this one. I'm going to pull that embossed piece back out, and this is where our blending brush comes in. So I'm going to get some color from my Summer Splash pad and just go around in circles. And by doing this, it's really making that images on that embossing folder just pop. You can see that design kind of come to life. Okay. All right, so we are done with all the ink, so I'll shut that. Got all of our pieces. Okay, so I've got all the pieces ready. Now I'm just going to continue to do a little prep work on them. So this piece of vellum that we embossed, I'm going to bring in the Stampin' Up! Mini cutter here. And it's 2 inches, so I'm going to take it down to an inch, each one an inch. So I can use these as border pieces. So that is done. And then I'm going to punch my label. So if you look at this, our card design, this is actually smaller than what we used than what we punched out. So I'm going to show you how that you can take your regular punches and you can make the labels smaller, an image smaller. So say like the reason I did that was because there was about a 1/4 inch on each side more white space, and it just took up more space on the card. And I really just wanted to focus on the sentiment itself. So this is how I accomplished that. And I gotta get we're out a sticky note here. That's going to be essential. So let me just, I have to run away from my desk here. Okay, sorry about that. I just grabbed a little piece that I was working with. You just need something to hold on to it. So I've got this little strip. I purposely cut it smaller because that's the size of my sentiment. So that's all I needed. So I'm going to take the cardstock. Instead of coming in through the top of my punch, I'm going to come over the top and tuck it down in there. Let's go. Let me look there. Okay. So I'm taking it down in the punch this way, leaving the top part out. And I'm just kind of lining it up to where it's centered. You know, I've got the greeting in there. So I'm going to give that a punch. So what it's done is given me that point punch on the bottom. And now I'm like, you're like, okay, Christina, that's great. Now you got to do it on this. Okay. So now I'm going to take the top portion of that and I'm going to bring it up in here. Right. This might be trickier. There we go. I was like, I know you can do this. I've done it a gazillion times here today after the class. So then I'm going to pull it up through and I'm going to take it a little tighter to the top and punch that out. Gives you that. Okay. So now you're like, okay, I've got this. Great. Now you're like, okay, how am I going to get that one done? I've already punched it out, so I need to be able to make it smaller. So my recommendation is what I do is I'm going to take this and put that on my label piece. Kind of set that there. So I've got a little bit of a layer there and I'm like, okay, I need to cut this much off. So in order to do that, I'm going to take, and actually I'm going to put this in. So I'm going to tuck this in my punch here. I find it's easier to kind of take it through there and then stick my sticky note to it. So I'm going to stick that sticky note there so it becomes like my little handle, so to speak. And I'm going to drop it down to the base here. So see, I've dropped it that much below the punch. See there? It's down there, down further. And I'm going to punch that out. And it's going to give me a smaller label. So it's just a way to like increase the versatility of your punches and do, make them smaller instead of making them larger than what you needed. The sentiment was smaller. It just makes sense to do it that way. So just a way to show you how to use your punches to increase their versatility. All right, we are ready to assemble this beauty. So let's get to it here. I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on that inside layer. Place that down. Wait a minute. I was getting ahead of myself there. Oh yeah, I could do that. Okay. I was going to put it on my card form, but like, no, I got to put the vellum on there. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive on this piece. And then go ahead and layer our embossed piece on top of that. Okay, so that'll give you this. Then I'm going to flip this over. And because I've got an embossed piece of vellum, I'm actually going to use my Stampin' Seal. And I'm just going to run some adhesive down the side of each of that side of the Summer Splash. Flip this over. And then determine which one I want to use. So then I'm going to take my 1-inch strip of the embossed vellum, and I just want like a 1/4 inch to stick out. So I'm just going to eyeball that and then press down on my adhesive, and that'll attach itself to that. Same with this one. Eyeball it, see what I like there. And attach that. So it just gives it a nice element of texture with that vellum on the side. And because I've used the vellum too on this, I'm going to continue to put that down with some seal instead of my liquid glue. I just feel like it'll hold it. There's a lot of layers there, so I want a little bit more of adhesive. So this is cut a little bit shorter, an inch or a 1/4 inch shorter. So you're gonna have a little framing up here and at the bottom. So just kind of split the difference and put that on. And then for the ribbon, I'm going to do the same thing I did on that other project. We're just going to make a little bit of adhesive there. And I'm going to crisscross the ribbon. I want to clean up those ends. Okay. That other one is good. So that other one, the one just had kind of gotten frayed. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on here. Okay. All right. And let's get these things out of the way. Okay. All right, there is our third project. Okay, I've got one more to share with you, so I will be right back. Let me clear all this stuff up and I'll come back with another one. Okay, all right, this next card, this is the next project we're making, a happy anniversary card. It's time to celebrate. Okay, so we're going to use this new stamp set, some bright colors. Just this card is all kinds of happy, in my opinion. So let's get started. I'll put this over here so it's kind of in the shot of the camera there and tell you everything we're using. So I've got like a plethora of stamps here, which I should move a little way here. Okay, so we're using Coastal Cabana ink, Granny Apple Green, Calypso Coral, and we're using that Versamark. All the ladies at class were like, I forget about Versamark. I know we all do. So we're going to use the Versamark pad. I've got some coral baker's twine. We're using a new stamp set called Blooming Phrases. I love the script on these, and then all these little creative flowers that you can kind of come off the tails. You can use these together or separate. And then I've also grabbed the beautiful butterfly stamp set, which we used in last month's class. And I'm going to grab the Time to Celebrate out of that one. Okay. Our supplies that we're using, we've got our envelope. We've got a piece of Calypso Coral that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We've got a piece of basic white that's 3.5 by 4 3/4. Another piece of basic white. Now this is a thick basic white, so you're going to notice that's a little sturdier. That's a 3 by 3 square. And then we've got a piece of Coastal Cabana that's 5, or sorry, not 5, 2.5 by 4 1/4. And you've got a piece of the coral baker's twine that's about 36 inches long. And we're going to double tie a ribbon there or a bow. And then you've just got some 1/2 inch strips that you're going to stamp your sentiment on. So I've just grabbed a bunch of those here. So we're going to start by folding our card base in half and flatten that with the bone folder. Okay. And then let's see, I'm going to start with the Versamark. So with the Versamark, and let me see if you notice this here. I'm going to get it really close to camera. Can you see that imagery on the Cabana piece of cardstock? There's just some faint images, like a watermark of floral images. So you'll be able to see that when you're stamping in person, you'll be able to see the image stamp, and it does create like a watermark. So I'm just going to take this little floral image and I'm just going to randomly stamp some flowers on there. And again, this is probably really difficult for the camera to pick up, quite honestly. So let me see if I come up here. There, you can kind of see it. So just gives you a hint of floral. I originally had stamped it with the Cabana ink on there, and it was just stronger. I wanted it to just be soft and subtle, kind of in the background. So the Versamark accomplished that for me. Okay, then let's see, we've got that piece done. We're going to stamp some sentiments here. I've got multiple strips, so if I mess this up, we'll just grab another one. We're going to do that with the Granny Apple Green. And we are going to make this a happy anniversary card. Okay. So I'm going to do happy. I kind of buggered that up a little bit. Let me try that again. I wobbled the, there we go. Clean that one off and let me do the anniversary one. Okay. And I think that I just have another one. You know why I'm having trouble? Because I didn't grab the foam mat. That's why. I'm just like, why is this stamping so difficultly? Is that even a word, difficultly? I don't even think it is. I think I just kind of made that up. Yeah, it's because I didn't grab the foam mat. So I'm gonna grab that when I go to stamp the flowers. So I'm just going to cut this off at an angle here and give this a flat end. So you're just going to trim those little guys. And then this one is the one I want to use, the happy. Gosh, yeah, that foam mat makes a big difference. Okay. All right, let's get out all these scraps because I do not need these. Throw them in the trash. Clean up those stamps. Oh, and the little Versamark one too. Oh, there's green ink on the block. I know as soon as I pick that up, it's going to be on my fingers. Let me move that out of the way. Okay. All right, let's grab the foam mat because I'm going to need that. And I'll bring these back in so I can stamp the greenery on the end and actually do it correctly. All right, so I'm going to take this little green stem, please, and I'm going to just put that on the end of the words to kind of give it a little extra interest there. Okay, so we've got that done. And I do want to cut this just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, with those. So now we're going to stamp the ladies at class thought this was a piece of designer series paper, but no, you're going to create that beautiness, like all things pretty there. So I'm going to start first by placing my stamps on the colors that I want them on, so I don't grab something inadvertently and ink it in a different color. This one, since it's a bigger block, I'm going to set it to the side. So I'm going to start with the coral. And I'm going to stamp this little image. And I would like a lighter shade, so I'm going to stamp it again. So doing that again and stamping it light. Um, do here. Now, when you're stamping off and you stamp, like, see how I stamped just part of the flower? If I stamp it again, I'm going to get a dark shade on the top that didn't make contact with the cardstock and a light shade on the bottom. So because I want a light shade, again, I'm going to stamp it off, but I want a full image. I mean, I'm going to stamp it kind of on the side. So, well, maybe I'll just put a little color there. It's kind of one of those things we can kind of come back and add to. So, but if you do stamp off, you are going to get a discoloration if you go to stamp that on your cardstock. So I'm going to come in now with the Coastal Cabana. Again, stamping and stamping off. I like those two shades. So we'll do this and come down here. Okay. And then I'll do a little bit of dark there. Just going to bring in little pops of the color and just doing the edges because I know I'm going to get a funkiness if I don't clean it off. Okay, now I'm going to come in with some green, some greenery in here. This is really about just kind of creating color template and the images that you want to. There's no right or wrong way. I'm just filling in the white space and creating opportunities for other colors. So I'm going to leave my green one there. I'm going to come in with these little blossoms and put some of those. We'll double color those too. Let's see. I'm going to stamp this off. Stamp one there. I think I want to put a greenery piece there. So see, as you're like putting it together, you can kind of like, I want a little bit of more color there. I want this there. Kind of play with it. So let's see. Now I'm just going to add bits of color where I feel like wanting it. I kind of like that. Although I want to put something right there. Let's stamp off. Even though it's like double stamping it, I feel like I just want some color there. I wanted something more there. So, okay, I'm happy with that. Right, let's put that one aside. Then we've got to do our time to celebrate. You're sticking with me as I'm, talking to myself here and you can understand my thought process. Okay, we're gonna do a time to celebrate on the lower portion. Okay, good, good. And then do a little stamping on the inside. So we're going to do this and stamp off, do some little blossoms there. Okay, put a little greenery in here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, we got to do something on the envelope. Can't leave that blank. Okay. Let's see. How about we'll do this and we'll do this, maybe another one. Okay. And we'll do some little green stems, leaves. Yeah. It's a little something. It'll go along with our card. Okay. I'm gonna shut the ink pads up here because I got so many open. We'll definitely need to those. Okay. Clean this one off. May as well get these all cleaned off. You can sit and chat here. Oh, goodness. All right. That's all our stamping. Those pieces out of there. Come back in with everything we've got here. All this. Trying to clear up some of the space here because there's a lot of clutter stuff. All right, we're ready to put this card together. So we're going to start by folding, or not, I already folded it. We're going to start by putting our Coastal Cabana piece on there. And I'm going to set that right there in place. Now, before I put my layers on, I want to get my twine tied around there. So this is how we're going to do the twine. So what you will do is you'll take the ends and match them up. So you're basically putting this in half. Okay, so you've got a looped end and then two single ends. You're going to bring that around your cardstock. Let me get all this stuff out of the way so it's not distracting. You're going to bring that around so that it's on the inside of your card. And then however it's comfortable for you, you're going to tie these together to make a bow. So I start with a knot, make my little loops, bring it through. Okay. And then you're going to have one with two tails and one with like a loop, if that makes sense, because you know, it's like your fold of the ribbon. So you're just going to need to cut that off and it'll be probably most likely longer than the other one. So you'll cut that off and you'll have a double bow there. And then because it's tied so inside, you can just slide it down to where you want to position it. So I'm going to slide the bow down a little bit and wait till I get this piece on and then I might adjust it. All right, so we're going to I want to put this one on with some dimensionals. And let's see, I'm trying to see, there we go. And one in the middle. Ah. Okay, so we'll put those dimensionals on, get all the papers off. All right. Got that. And then we get where's our happy anniversary? There our little guys are. Okay. So this one, the happy, I'm just going to go ahead and place on my stamp layer because that's already popped up and I just want it to be right at the edge there. And then this one I'm going to put on with some dimensionals and we'll use the minis because, you know, it's a slim strip. Okay. Right. There we go. So I've got little dimensionals on under there, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop that down below. Okay. And then we need to put our inside layer in. Right. All right, and that is our fourth and final card. Let me move these things out of the way. All the stamps, all that. Okay, so we're going to bring our projects back in. So we've got this one and this one here and this one. And we've got our daffodil one and then our freesia one. Got all those. Okay, so you have a total of 8 projects. Again, these two will be the same layout, but different color designs. So let me flip this back around here. Okay, that was it. We're done with our April Showers Bring Me Flowers cards. I hope you enjoyed the projects as much as I enjoyed sharing them with you today. If you have questions about anything that we used that I didn't answer in the video, please don't hesitate reaching out to me. I feel like I need to put my hair back up. It's kind of it's the rain. I don't know. I straightened it today and it's got a wave in it. I can like, when I'm seeing myself on camera, it just is like, ugh. Anyway. Sorry, I digress. So if there's anything that I used in today's video that you have interest in or you want to know more about, just message me. I'm happy to help you out with that. I hope you enjoyed the projects. I hope that you've enjoyed creating them and you've got the perfect person that you're going to send them to brighten their day because it really does make a difference to get a hand stamped card in the mail. Just letting somebody know that you're thinking about them. So until next time, create your own paper sunshine because we certainly need it because we've had all the rain and everything. And just happy stamping. All right, bye-bye.